Okay, guys, welcome to Pro Podcast. We're here and we're going to have that kind of a podcast where you ambush people. They don't know what we're going to discuss about. So we want it to be real and very, very, truthful. I have some gentlemen here that I know very well, but I would like them to introduce themselves so that we can take this away. My name is Paul Wafula, and I'm going to be your host today.
I'm Otieto Guguyu.
I am Dominic Omondi.
Yes, Dominic, how well do you know this gentleman here called Otieto Guguyu?
What a tricky question.
I could say, well, I know him well.
Yeah, and you've helped him do some other personal stuff. You've been his right-hand man in some place. I want to know that. What is it?
Some of this information is classified.
I told you I'm going to put you on the spot, so I need it out. And there's no classification here today. Unfortunately, that information, the time has lapsed, and it has been so declassified.
So I've been close to this guy here, so I happen to have been with him when he was tying the knot.
All right, that's wonderful. Can you say that you have known his highest moments and his lowest moments?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah. What do you think is his lowest moment?
Lowest moment. I don't know whether that could be described as his lowest moment.
Okay.
Not that I know.
So that's the whole point of this, because guys really don't like to say the truth. I don't want to speak it out. Today we are going to ask them to drag it out of them. Otieto, can you be said to be an alcoholic?
I don't know if I qualify to be an alcoholic by the definition.
Do you have
of
a
it.
drinking problem?
But
Have you ever had a drinking
point,
problem?
Yeah, at some point, I don't think I was an alcoholic.
Yes.
I don't think I drank a lot of alcohol.
You drank a lot of alcohol. Okay,
Um,
why did you start drinking?
When did I start drinking?
Why?
The first time I tasted alcohol was when I was a very young kid. You're being a Manyala. You know me, it comes from the tribe where so we're drinking around when my uncles are around there. They give you a sip of a bit of changa just to confirm that you are part of your tribe. You know, we even have a saying for it. Tunasema orang wechanga yecha nengina.
What does that mean?
Which means the person who does not drink came with their mother. As in, they are not necessarily they're not necessarily born within the family. They are not in the clan. So, to know if you are part of Manyalas, they give you alcohol and then they say you are part of our own. So it was a more or less thing that I grew into it.
So maybe you may not remember the exact time, but when do you think you actually first tasted alcohol?
I can't even, I don't remember the age, but I was pretty young.
Yeah.
Very young.
Less than 5?
Yeah, definitely.
Dominic, do you drink?
Yes, I do.
Why do you drink?
Because alcohol makes you feel good.
We're getting there. So, guys, we have basically established a problem. Oh, not a problem, but we want to get to the bottom of it. So, Otieto, tell me, what do you think was the turning point? When did you decide that at this point you've had enough, you have to slow down, or you have to stop drinking?
I caught pancreatitis.
What is that?
I'd never heard of that disease in my entire life. I had never even heard of it. And it never even occurred to me at any given point in time.
Okay, take us slowly. How much were you drinking? Like, how much would you drink in a night?
Until the alcohol issue. and we could go for more.
What do you mean by alcohol?
Like as much as our pockets would allow us. And at up to the point where you black out.
Wow.
Like
so you have let's say like a mzinga, okay? Let's say like a 1 liter Johnny Walker, 1 liter whatever mzinga. You will take the whole bottle.
That used to be a small thing.
Ungekunywa moja umalize, mtu moja. Na maji.
Pole for a long period of time. I was not necessarily, but I could drink. I had a capacity to drink.
Okay, how much will you say was too much? Like how much will you drink until you say now?
I just drank until I passed out. I drank until we had no more money, and as in we just drank to. There was no limits. We are not doing it without.
You have finished a 5 liter of changa.
We have done quite a bit of changa. I think even the last alcohol we drank, I was with you.
Yeah.
Actually, I had come from Busia with I don't know what size it was, but I used to carry like a bottle whenever I went home. So I called him and said, I have some good stuff. You can come and sample it. And that was the last time I actually really drank. Because after that, then I got the attack and I had to quit.
So like at that time you're getting the attack, like how much had you taken? Like how much alcohol in a day on average will you take?
It was a lot.
More than 3 liters.
More than 3 liters. It was a lot.
More than 3 liters.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And Dominic, you're just there. Like he will take 3 liters.
I was
he was also drinking.
I was also partaking.
He's
You're
he's the last man standing.
I was the last man standing.
He will also take like 3 liters.
Yeah.
And I mean, you never thought that this is too much alcohol.
You know, that is what alcohol does to you, because it makes you. The more you get, the more it feels good, and the more you just want to keep on drinking. It's like getting a jab of I don't know how these guys this hard stuff that they take.
It's a
takes you
fix.
somewhere.
It's
Yeah,
a
it
fix.
puts you
It's
in
a fix. You want the next fix.
Okay, guys, we are getting to that point where somebody gets an attack and says this is enough and they cannot drink more. But before we get to there, I mean, there's something that I've always wanted to understand. Do journalists drink too much? Is it an evil? Is it part of the trade? Do you drink because you're a journalist? Do you drink because you have something going on, or you just drink?
So can I start? I didn't used to drink a lot. I used to drink, yes, but I didn't used to drink a lot. But when I got into journalism, I kind of started drinking a lot, and for a good reason. One is that this is a profession where you kind of have to be a social animal. You can't help it. Once in a while you meet people, once in a while you go into events, once in a while, and so that in itself, of course, you know, people like to say I drink occasionally, only that occasions
Comes too frequently.
comes too frequently. So in journalism, occasions come too frequently. And two, this is a deadline kind of job, so you can imagine sometimes you are working on a certain assignment, and it's one that you have to deliver within a certain period of time. There's a lot of pressure. All that time what you're thinking is how you can cool your head because it's been heating up. So once you're done, the only thing you think of is a bottle. Yeah. And so a combination of those things somehow has driven a lot of people into drinking a lot. And then also when you find yourself in a crowd, because again, I wouldn't say that all journalists drink a lot, but if you combine the crowd effect, because alcohol is a social thing, if you find yourself always with the same team every day, then and then combine the fact that this is a profession where people are always on wanting to beat deadline. If you combine all that, you have an alcoholic as a journalist as an alcoholic.
So, would you agree with that assessment? Are journalists generally functioning alcoholics?
I agree completely with this assessment, because it's a very high pressure job. It's a very high pressure job. So after a lot of intense working very intensely, the only thing that you can think about is you need to let off steam. So you sort of end up drinking a lot. It's very easy to just say, let me take a bottle or two, and then it goes, and everything goes. And also something funny, it's that journalism, you can actually do journalism when you are either hungover or drunk. So like there are jobs like if you are going to operate somebody tomorrow, you can't drink.
Okay.
If you're going to fly a plane tomorrow, you can't drink. But this is one of the few professions where you can be from a bar in the morning and you're given a story and you still bang it.
All right, guys, so you have it. This is a story about people whose stories you never hear to hear. This is a story about journalists. This is a story about the story makers, the guys who write every day about your lives, but whom we don't understand or never know the other side. So this podcast is about the story of the untold stories of journalists. So there you have it. We want to understand what really goes on in their lives. But most importantly, we want to tell you a story about this gentleman who one day I walked to his hospital bed and something in me just rose up after the break.
Someone else's pace is not your own. Kila mtu na pace yake. Usiharakishe because you've seen a celebrity figure doing this. Until they went and got back their body. Don't do that to yourself. Just be kind. Give yourself grace and one day at a time. One day at a time.
So welcome back. This is a day I'm called, I think it's a weekend. I'm not sure if it's a Sunday. Was it a Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday.
And I'm told this gentleman, very good friend of mine, is actually admitted. He's in hospital, and I'm so shocked. And I'm like, I have to rush and see. And I go and find him, in a hospital, and I'm told he's about to undergo an operation. Are you to go on an operation?
No.
Or you had already undergone an operation procedure?
Do you know? It was actually on the day. It was actually on my wedding day. I was supposed to have a wedding on that particular day. It's a very funny story. So I was supposed to. So we were preparing, doing the last minute sort of just preparation for making sure everything is in order. Blah blah blah. When I started feeling the problem with my stomach, so I'd been told after I'd gone to the hospital for a while, and all the tests were coming. They were not so conclusive. So I was told I have hyperacidity.
What kind of tests were they doing?
They did a lot of tests, stool tests. They did a lot of. They did blood tests, stool tests. They tried everything, but they were not finding anything. So the most probable guess was that I had hyperacidity. So at the time when I felt a bit unwell, I thought that it was just hyperacidity, and I could actually even deal with it. I even went to a chemist, asked them if they had something emergency hyperacidity. They gave me something, but still nothing happened. So the pain just kept getting worse.
Where was this pain?
It was, I don't know. It's somewhere you can't necessarily place it.
All right.
So it's just within you, and then the pain it's intense. What I can tell you, it is intense pain.
But you are still going through this intense pain, and you are drinking alcohol.
At the time when I'm getting the attack, I'm not drinking actually.
Okay, all right.
It was just like sort of later on after I'd already drunk. So it
All
was a delayed effect or sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital up at Nation, 11th floor, I don't know, around there. So they gave me these painkillers, when I could inject very heavy painkillers that you have to be injected directly. You can't even take anything from your mouth. And then I went to the other hospital. I went to Guru Nanak, and then it is at Guru Nanak that they found out now that I had pancreatitis. After they did more liver tests, etc. From what I was complaining, I guess they sort of tried that, and then established that my nini was too high. There was a thing that measures the level of alcoholism in your blood and that sort of thing. So it was too high, way high. So it was excruciating pain. Monday was there. It was excruciating pain. It is pain that can change.
So you were in hospital in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
And what does doctor tell you?
So
because when I came, there's something that you told me, and I was so shocked.
So I had to go through. So I think there's a twin test they do for that. They do the liver test and that sort of thing, and then they take you through the CT scan to assess the level of damage of your liver. How badly is it? Is it too far gone? And that sort of thing. So I was what I told you, probably I was waiting to go through the CT scan and that sort of thing. Yeah. So I went through. My liver wasn't irreparably damaged. It was the levels were a bit high, but it could walisema if as long as I stop for 6 months completely no alcohol and then drink with limitation, I'll be good to go.
Dominic, you are being told don't drink, stop drinking today, or you'll be dead. Is that, how do you take that information?
Being told don't drink today,
Yeah.
or I'll be dead. I'm hesitating because it's not such an easy answer. It's well, when it comes to death, I'll look at the implications, of course. If it's a doctor who has diagnosed me and it's a professional opinion based on my health condition, it is something that I will take, but with, a lot of second thoughts.
Yeah. So,
But yes, I'll accept it painfully.
Uteto, you were told not to drink.
I was told not to drink completely for 6 months, and then thereafter, but then drinking was, as in, I'm discouraged from drinking completely.
Well, what will happen if you were to drink?
I don't know if I would drop dead, but I don't think I'll drop dead immediately. But I know essentially I'll just go back to where I was.
Okay.
So sort of my ability to nene, what is it called? To take alcohol is completely imerudi chini. So I've sort of spent my alcoholism years. So and I don't mind. I didn't. When I was told to stop drinking, I actually didn't mind it at all. I have done my fair share.
Because that's what you told me. You told me that
I've paid my
from
dues.
today,
I've paid my dues. It's okay.
That's
it's
it.
okay.
I've had enough.
It's
I've had
okay,
enough. But
yeah.
when you're in that pain and there's this fear that maybe you need a procedure and that maybe your liver or some of your organs are destroyed and things. I mean, what was going through your mind? Is it a turning point? Is it something that will actually make you think about your life?
Yeah, definitely. I had up to then I hadn't been admitted into hospital. Like I hadn't been put on necessarily be in hospital. And here I was admitted for, I don't know, it was a few days. It was a lot of days. The longest I've ever been in hospital. I wasn't eating. You're not supposed to eat. I was in painkillers and glucose all the time, so you don't even eat. You are all these as in they just keep pumping water, glucose and drugs into you, so it's not necessarily the best thing. So it is a turning point. You don't want to be there. You don't want to get back there again. And the pain was excruciating.
The pain was.
It is I couldn't do enough.
No, where were you in all this?
So on that day, he called me because he was supposed to have the union was supposed to be done the next day, and I was supposed to be what do we call those guys? His best man of witness or something. And so he called me, and then I think I called him, and then he said, "There's something that has happened. We have to go to the hospital. Let's we go check and see what will happen." Within, I think, after 2 or so hours, he told me that he's been referred to Guru Nanak. And I remember on that day I had gone and ironed a coat.
Ready for the wedding.
Ready for the wedding.
Was it an edgy wedding, or you're going for a function?
Edgy, but I had to look
the part.
So, and I was going home. I was in a taxi. I was going home, and I told the guy, let's turn and go to Guru Nanak. So I went there and found my friend really in pain. He doesn't even want us to bargain. Because the hospital also is demanding a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And the guy is like, hey, 20. Yeah. So yeah, you could see the pain, and what he's saying that if you have such a pain, it certainly turns into a turning point for you.
Yeah.
And so you could see the pain, and whenever that water, the drip, whenever it ended, the pain starts.
Back, yeah.
So it was bad.
Yeah.
Painkillers all the entire time.
Yeah. Wow, that is such a story. You've had it. On our next episode, we will try and understand what really makes journalists drink. What is it about their lives that makes it, quite necessary, or important for them not to keep down the bottle. And we will hear more stories about journalists that have either recovered or have had their own turning points in this journey of alcohol and other life struggles. Keep it here at Podcast. Thank you for watching.